I'm Allison from Learning at the Primary Pond. I'm a literacy specialist, and in this video, I'm going to share tips for how classroom teachers can fit meaningful, effective reading intervention into the busy school day. Now, if you're a reading interventionist or a reading specialist and your whole day is reading intervention, keep listening because there will probably be some tips that you can use as well. But I know from being a classroom teacher that when you want to do intervention, whether it's something more formal that your school requires, or you're just seeing kids struggling and you want to help, it can be really hard to squeeze that in with everything else you're already doing. So this video will make it easier for you to find time to help your below level readers. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, would love for you to do that now, and then also hit the little bell so that you're notified every time I post a brand new video about teaching literacy. My first tip that helped me a ton when I was in the classroom before becoming a reading specialist was to do intervention first. Now we're going to talk, reading intervention does not have to be some long drawn out thing, but if there's a skill, even if it's just a couple of flashcards, when kids come in the classroom in the morning, as long as you can, I would do that reading intervention with them right then and there. It's great if you have a time block specifically laid aside for it. Not all teachers do, not all schools do that, but if you're having trouble fitting something in, doing it first in the day is a surefire way to make sure that it actually happens, because we know that as the day goes on, sometimes things go awry, sometimes we get off on our schedules. So if we leave it toward the end or even like the middle of the day, sometimes things just get in the way. So getting it out of the way first is a great way to ensure that it actually happens. My second tip is to focus on just a few key skills. Now, literacy is something where there's a lot of different sub-skills that make it up, right? Kids have to learn high frequency words. They have to decode words. They have to become fluent. They need to comprehend what they're reading, and they need to know vocabulary that fits into this and a million other things, right? So reading is complex, but the reality is if you have limited time, we have to be very selective, and they should be getting instruction on those other skills throughout the school day. So we want to think about 1, 2, or 3 key foundational skills that, if we're thinking K2 anyway, kids really need to focus on. So it could be phonemic awareness. It could be phonemic awareness and decoding, right? Or phonics knowledge combined with that. It could be that they need to build like fluency, reading speed, although make sure they don't have decoding gaps if you're just going to focus on fluency, right? So instead of bouncing between too many things or trying to cram all the things into reading intervention and never getting to them, or not being able to see all your students because you're trying to get to too much, just create some focus. Now, if you're not sure exactly what is most important to focus on, I can help with that. I have a membership called the Reading Intervention Collaborative that is focused on, as you can probably imagine, reading intervention. And in that membership, I have training videos that show you how to figure out what kids most need to focus on based upon the assessments that I have inside the members area. And with that information, you can pinpoint, oh, let's do this, or let's do this and that. But we're not trying to do all the things because, again, they should be getting instruction in all literacy areas throughout the school day, so we want to pick what's most important, what will most move the needle for each particular student or each particular group of students. So I'm curious, if you have small groups or maybe some kind of reading intervention, let me know in the comment one skill that you're focusing on with them right now. This could be any number of things, right? It could be, like we said, phonemic awareness. It could be high frequency word recognition. It could even be decoding multisyllabic words. It's going to depend on the age of the students that you're working with. But again, if you're not sure what to focus on, the Reading Intervention Collaborative link will be in the the caption. So you can check that out and learn more. Reading intervention does not need to be overcomplicated, right? Even if you've just got 5 minutes, you can make progress on high frequency words or a little bit of phonics knowledge with a kiddo or a group of kiddos. That's the power of targeted research-based instruction. Tip number 2 is to eliminate downtime during intervention. Now, this might be something that you haven't even thought of, but there's actually a lot of research that a ton of time is wasted in schools, which is sad because we know that time in school that we have with our kids is just so limited. So we want to make the most of the time that we do have. And this is especially true if you're having trouble, it's true across the board, but if you're having trouble fitting an intervention or getting through everything you need to in intervention, even just in your regular small groups, here are some things to think about. Number 1, we want to make sure that kids are coming from wherever they're coming to our small group or table or wherever for reading intervention quickly. So you could use a timer. We don't want them to run, but like beat the clock. Can you clean up and come over to my table in 30 seconds or whatever? Give them a challenge and see if they can keep improving on that time. And then once they're at the table, make sure that you have everything ready to go. I don't spend time looking for the right high frequency word flashcards. I will just write out on index cards a set that I know is appropriate for that child or that group of students so that I'm not like shuffling things. I want to have everything ready to go. Magnetic letters, not in a big organizer, they're set out, a whole set for each student already on their board, ready to go. Everything should be ready to go. Everything should be within reach so you can easily pass things out. You could even, like, to save time, you could have a student help you pass stuff out if it's like a bigger group, which hopefully it's not if it's reading intervention because we want smaller groups. But maybe you create a grab and go bin that's just everything you need for that group. When the schedule is tight, right, and we don't have a lot of time, and we want to keep our kids' attention and not having to be like fumbling around for things, it's so much better if everything is ready to go. So think through how you could save even more time by having all your materials totally ready. My next tip is to use help, get help from support staff, from volunteers, okay? Now, we know that for reading intervention, we want trained teachers to be doing that stuff, but you also don't have to do it all yourself, right? You might have a little bit of intervention time with them, but maybe an aide or even just a parent or community volunteer. Sometimes local churches want to help. However you can, get people in there. They can listen to kids read, reread a text for fluency. I actually have in the Reading Intervention Collaborative a special fluency activity for rereading where I give you the directions for the adult and the adult just implements it. Super easy, anybody can do it. They can practice high frequency word cards or like phonics flashcards with kids. They can, they can read along with the child because reading, like having a student read along with a more proficient reader at the same time, like chorally reading, that can help build fluency. There's so many things that other people can do. So yes, use your time well, but also think about how can you pack even more into the day? Because here's the thing about kids that are struggling with reading. They are gonna need so much more practice than other students that aren't struggling with reading. And if it's just you for a couple of minutes a day, you can make an impact for sure, but you'll make an even bigger impact when you get help. Again, it doesn't have to be super trained help, just some kind of help to give them extra support, extra feedback throughout the whole school day. I hope that these tips were helpful. Keep in mind that, even if you've got 10 minutes, that can make a difference. 10 minutes of impactful, structured literacy instruction, that can really help move your students forward. The research shows that. I'll include a citation in the caption as well as the Reading Intervention Collaborative link. And the Reading Intervention Collaborative membership is a membership. We have classroom teachers in there, reading specialists, reading interventionists, tutors, where you get over 17 hours. You can get graduate level credit for all these video trainings, but you can just watch here and there or watch what is most interesting to you. We have over 2,000 pages of printables for comprehension, vocabulary, fluency, phonics, phonemic awareness, high frequency words, you name it, we got it. And if we don't have it, you can request it. That membership is really my passion project because I believe that more teachers should have access to these materials because when you have the right information, which so many undergrad programs and master's programs don't even give you, I had to go and learn a lot on my own, but when you have the right information, you are empowered to help your kids. And it's not just about getting better in reading. Getting better in reading is important, but fluent, confident readers, they succeed in school. They go on to, have successful careers and feel confident in themselves. And so not being able to read can make a really big impact on kids. And I created the Reading Intervention Collaborative because I want to change that. I don't want you to feel like you have to go get some like $40,000 degree. You can get access to this information and be a game changer for your students. It's just a matter of having the right information and tools. So I'll step up my soapbox there, but check out the caption for more information on the Reading Intervention Collaborative. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful to you. Before you leave, it would mean so much to me if you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.